Good morning, wrestling fans, or good afternoon, or whatever time it is in your country or wherever you are in the world, the UK, Australia, Canada, America, Mexico. Maybe you're over in the Middle East area, Asia. I don't know. Seth Rollins getting rid of the curb stomp. We got to talk about this because he finally has divulged sort of what the story behind why the curb stomp was ended. It's been a while now. And this is why I wish a lot of these guys would do more shoot interviews or interviews like this. But, and of course, it's basically what we all thought, which was Vince McMahon and everything else. And, you know, you can understand why, but here's the story. But first of all, I want to tell you guys, of course, tonight, Monetize This is going to take place from my other channel. It's going to take place from Corrupted Podcast because YouTube still hasn't appealed or denied my strike for going live, which is bizarre because I've had 8 of these before, and I've won 5 out of the 8, and all of those were decided within 2 days. And even when I lose those decisions, they were still decided within 3 days. So we are way past that point at this point. So the fact that we're going on day 4, I don't exactly know what that means. I don't understand what's taking them so long, other than maybe they're manually reviewing it like they usually do. Sometimes because they did say we're going to forward it and manually review it. So anyway, I will be live from youtube.com/corruptedpodcast tonight for Monetize This. So make sure all of you who care about Monetize This go sub that channel and are ready for 11 p.m. Eastern Time U.S. tonight on Corrupted Podcast. I will make a video here to remind you. And I will be live, I believe, possibly on Twitch as well, so that we're going live from both places. Hope everybody comes. I'm hoping it's not a big financial hit for us. Kind of a scary thing, you know, so I hope everybody is still going to come to the show and still going to bring it, and we'll have a good time. I got some good topics for tonight on Monetize This. Should it be a slower show, but hopefully it won't be. But if it's not, we'll go all night, you know, whatever. Anyway, back to Seth Rollins. This is interesting. And by the way, also, one more quick thing. A lot of people have been reporting seeing a mystery, like, you know, fireball in the sky and stuff like that. Has anybody out there seen this? I don't know if it relates, but a giant asteroid, one of the biggest since NASA has been paying attention, is supposed to fly by tonight. Or it's already flying by, or it's flying by tonight, I believe, in the sky. We're supposed to be able to maybe see something. It's a huge space rock. So if people were seeing a comet burning up in the atmosphere the other day, if you remember the movie Armageddon, before the giant asteroid gets to Earth, tons of comets bombard the Earth, right? All these little mini asteroids. So these could be, you know, a trail coming from this big comet. Perhaps. I don't know. But anyway, just wanted to throw that out there, too, because I saw people... Tons of people have been saying, "What the hell did we see in the sky?" You know, could be that. I'm just asking a question. I don't know. All right. So to Seth Rollins, the thing that we actually care about. According to this is from Wrestling Inc. From the Sam Roberts show, which I loathe plugging that freaking Carrot Top head, but must do it because it's just a layup for him. He just gets all the WWE wrestlers to come on his show, and it's like. Here's this guy getting all the wrestlers, all the access to everybody, and he sucks. It's like he just gets layups. He just gets to have these... Like, if it wasn't for getting celebrities on the show, nobody would know who the hell he is. And, anyway. Am I jealous? I might be. According to Rollins, he said he was very sad when he was told he could no longer do the curb stomp, and divulged that the move will never come back. He says McMahon did not think it was the finish. The finish was a good way for Rollins to represent the company. Even though he did it for like, what, 2 years before this? The curb stomp is gone, guys. It's not my fault. Trust me. It's not like I was saying, oh yes, I want a new finisher. No, they snatched it from me. They took it from me. After WrestleMania, I had won the WWE title, and I flew across the country to do the Today Show. And for the Today Show, they put together a package of Seth Rollins' awesome maneuvers. At the time, my finish was the curb stomp. So Vince McMahon is sitting wherever Vince McMahon sits on Monday morning, and he's seeing me on the Today Show, and I look good in a suit. I'm representing the company, I look good in a suit, and I'm wearing the title. And then he sees the package of me stomping another man's head into the ground and it being called the curb stomp on national television. And he thought to himself, well, that's not a good representation of what I want my top guy to do. He just had a meeting with some of his people and they decided, well, we don't need it. We can figure out another finisher for you. The rest is history. I get it. I hate it. I think it's silly, but it is what it is, and it's not my company. I'm doing the best with it that I can. Rollins added, I get it from a marketing standpoint. I totally understand. I hate it because it was such a great finisher. It was easy, and I could do it on everybody. And now I've got a cool knee now, so let's start liking that, he says. Well, there you go. That's the story that we pretty much figured was the story, but there you go. Yeah, he's got a knee now that honestly, I don't like it. It doesn't look like a finisher to me. It looks like he's kneeing somebody, sort of. Like, a lot of times I miss it. I don't know about you guys. Maybe it's because I'm still not used to the finisher. I mean, if you watch Kenny Omega, you know about it. You know, I mean, it just doesn't seem like a finisher to me. It seems like sometimes he hits it, and I'm like, what just happened? And then the person loses, and I'm like, what? Wait a minute, what happened? Like, I never see his finisher coming at all. You know, it's not a super kick. It's not a stunner. It's not a splash. It's, you know, maybe you should just go to the frog splash, because he does a really wicked frog splash, right? And he's a high flyer, you know, kind of. Go to the frog splash. Why not? Use the knee as a setup to the frog splash. Hit him with the knee. The guy falls over. You climb to the top. You do the frog splash off the top rope. It's more exciting. I don't think anybody else is doing it, right? Nobody's doing the frog splash. RVD ain't here. Go to the frog splash. Because then, you know, the knee. Oh, he hit the knee. Is he going to hit the frog splash, you know? And maybe, and I get it with other guys doing stuff crazier. Maybe he doesn't, maybe that's lame to him, or maybe they think that's lame. I mean, they get Neville doing a red arrow, you know? I think Seth can do some crazy stuff. He can do a 450 and some of those things. So maybe one of those would be his finisher. I don't know, but this is, I mean, it's depressing. He hasn't felt the same since he got the finisher taken from him. I mean, he did have a great run, you know. I mean, he did have a good run. He's had one of the best runs, you know, if I think about it. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, guys. Somebody in the comments will set me straight, perhaps, and be like, Joe, do you not remember this, you dummy? But at this time, he was like one of the last runs with the WWE World title that made me feel like, wow, that belt is that belt. That's the belt, you know? I think, AJ Styles. Okay, AJ Styles having the title. When AJ Styles had the belt, I was like, this is awesome. Problem is, AJ Styles didn't have it for long enough. He did not have it for long enough. And, you know, maybe Jinder Mahal, and maybe we'll feel like that with Jinder Mahal after a while, or if they leave it on him long enough, you'll feel that way. But when you think about it on Rollins, it was a decent time. He got a really good push. You know, when you get the pedigree and like it never felt right. His finisher never felt right after he lost the curb stomp. Like, that was the move, man. Like, that was his move. And you know what? I got to tell you, I got to be honest. I wasn't crazy about that move either. I never was either. I'm a little bit like Vince. I was always like, man, curb stomp, like, Jesus. And also, like, you know, the guy's got to be kind of getting up, and you've got to be, you know, jumping on him. I don't know. It was always a little video gamey to me. And I remember saying that back then. But it still felt like it was part of him and part of his character, and that was it. And unless you told me something better, do you have something better than the curb stomp? That's always been my question. So even though I even criticized it, do you have something better for Seth Rollins? Pedigree? No. And honestly, I wish you would just go back to the pedigree at this point, because that was better, I think, than the knee. I don't see the knee coming. I feel like he's lost right now. He's like a lost soul with finishing maneuver. Like, the curb stomp was like a number 2 for me. Like, to me, Joe Cronin personally, that was a number 2 finisher for me. Then he went to the pedigree, which is a number 1 finisher, but on Seth Rollins, it didn't seem 100% right, so I'm going to still call it a number 2 finisher. Now he's gotten to this knee, and I really believe the knee is like a number 3 finisher. Like, I mean, if you were to, you know... So until you have a number 1 for this guy, and I think the frog splash might actually be a number 2 or a number 1. If he was to do the knee and then jump off the top of the frog splash or a 450 or something, I don't know. But come up with something better. Can you come up with something better than the curb stomp? It's like, maybe they thought they did. Maybe they thought, oh, well, he's going to do the pedigree. Oh, shit. Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, that's a good idea. You do the take Hunter's move. You're in the... Whatever. And at the time, he was heel. But the knee... The guy just got screwed. Let's put it where it is. The guy got screwed. He's not as good as a baby face. He's an okay baby face because he's a cool dude, but Seth Rollins was better as a heel. Now that's evident. He was better as a heel. He had the curb stomp. Now he has no curb stomp. Now he's a face. I don't really buy him as a face. I don't know what it is. Like, he just comes off as a natural heel now to me. When he speaks, it's like he's being forced to be nice. I don't know if anybody's ever noticed this about him, but anyway, that's what I think about him. He's always like, yeah, man, I was like this and that, but he seems like he wants to be a dick. And I just, and don't get me started with Ambrose. Ambrose. Hey, Ambrose, they're taking your car, man. What? Oh, like, hey, let's go eat some rainbows. You want to eat some rainbows? I don't know what these two are not in a good. I mean, they're tag champions, I guess now, but this is. I don't even know. Whatever. Curb stomp. You know, you knew the guy was going on the Today Show, right? Or maybe you didn't because it was the last minute. I mean, the guy had the move for like over a year, and I already thought the same thing. The minute that I heard of his move, I was like, damn, the curb stomp? Holy shit. You know what I mean? We couldn't have the FU, but curb stomp is okay. You know, and I thought that for a long time, and it's like, oh, it's all good until he becomes the champion. Now, no. It's like the more you are, the better you do, the more they chain you up. And the more you chain things up and cut things, it's like the more it gets lame. Bro, in the middle of Raw, has anybody noticed this? In the middle of Raw, there's freaking horror commercials up the ass. There's like people being stabbed in the face, in the eyes. There's fucking terrifying commercials being played in between Raw's show. So on a show where it's supposed to be PG and all this crap, look at the commercials that come on for WWE. They are worse than the product. They are scarier. They are darker. There's like sharpshooter, like shooter, like the show Shooter or whatever. Then there's like guns and there's people being shot. Like, I mean, dude, the commercials between Raw are messed up. They're like PG-13. You know? Like, I mean, TV-14, PG-13 type commercials. Maybe even like borderline R. Terrifying horror movies. I don't know what it is with horror movies, but they love to advertise on the WWE's network. It's like, I mean, why? Why is that? So you got horror movies, and then you've got like shooting and just death, and just, I mean, but then WWE comes on and it's Disney, and you're like, well, oh, you know, I forgot I was watching. You know, I forgot the commercials were more risky than the company is. You know, we can have Shooter, we can have zombies in the middle of WWE, we can have people popping up with blood on their head, scaring you. You know, all these different horror commercials. But oh no, you know, not the curb stomp, you know, or you know, not somebody bleeding, or not you know, it's not something that would be not insulting to anybody over the age of 14. That's my rant, guys. I'll see you for Monetize This tonight. Unless something changes by tonight, which it doesn't seem like it's gonna. I don't know what they're doing. It's taking a long time to review this. So still unable to go live on this channel. Make sure you guys hit me up on my new Twitter account so you know what's going on. Plus the Hear Me Out app, where you can hear all the sound clips from me. the Hear Me Out app. Download Hear Me Out on your phone. I've also got to shout out the new patrons. You guys are beasts. You guys are the ones that keep the show going. This video was brought to you by all the patrons. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be doing these videos. So if anybody wants to help me and support the show and you give a shit, patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. And, you know, speaking of patrons, patrons were charged today, so I got to give a shout-out to all the new patrons. Obviously, during this time, you know, this is when we lose a little bit of patronage. We lose patrons. So, it's always kind of a tough time. So I want to thank the people that are still here, that have been supporting like crazy all these times. Thank you, guys. Also, special shout-out to V2 of Doom, Vito. Vito upped his pledge to so much, man. He upped his pledge to $40 a month. Thank you to Vito. That's crazy. And thank you to Travis, who pledged $5 a month. We got Travis TLC dropping $5 a month. Yeah, V2 of Doom from $20 to $40 a month. Thanks to Nicholas Wolf, who adjusted his but stayed. And we got a couple other people mentioning stuff. So people like the audio on Patreon, by the way. You can now, I'm going to be uploading it through audio format, so you can, it doesn't mess up your data plan. So people have enjoyed that as well. All the corrupted episodes, all the Morning Madness shows. And just for people that don't know, I'm going to be doing a 30-minute to hour show every morning, Monday through Friday, called Morning Madness. I put a video up the other day. There was like a pilot episode of that. And that will be for $5 patrons or more every morning. Plus, you'll get the Corrupted podcast then and everything else. Plus, there's the $10 thing, and there's other perks for that. And now I added, some people like really wanted help with like channels or podcasting and stuff like that. Just for those crazy instances, people want me to go over their channels and work on stuff with them. There's actually a $100 one up there for that. So that's like combining as Patreon / like a service I do. But, you know, I don't expect a lot of people to be interested in that. But a few people wanted that. Darnell pledged $1 a month. Thank you to Darnell. Marshall Diener, $5 a month. Thank you, Marshall. Steven Rogelson, $5 a month. Cody is still sticking around with $5 a month. Thank you, Cody. Elijah, $1 a month. Adam Valdez, $5 a month. Cy Richards, $10 a month. Fidel Pena, $5 a month. Thank you guys very, very much for being here and for supporting the show, and everybody else who's been there as well. You guys are the ones keeping the show going, so thanks for sponsoring the show, essentially keeping this going. And, you know, obviously, we're taking another hit tonight, but I will be live with Monetize This tonight on Corrupted Podcast's YouTube channel, so make sure you go over there. I'll leave the links in the description box down below. If you need any help, hit me up on Twitter at @RealJoeCronin. And we'll also be live on Twitch tonight, which my Twitch account is twitch.tv/JoeCroninJCS. And that is it. What do you think Seth Rollins' finisher should be? Leave in the comments down below. What do you think about me talking about the splash, the frog splash being his finisher? Do you think it should be something else? Should you just have the curb stomp back? Do you hate Vince McMahon? Because McMahon is absolutely a no fun zone at this point. Guys, I'll see you tonight for Monetize This.